Hello friends. In this video we will see three-wire industrial motor controls. In the last video we have discussed already about the two-wire industrial controls. So let us discuss about what is three-wire control and how it is different from two-wire control. And also we will see what are the different type of configurations industries they're using and a wiring diagram for this one. And also we will see some a PLC ladder also for this one. Okay, so let us start now. So let me take the same example like previous video. I'm taking this compressor control system where in the two-wire controls I have used pressure switch for turn on and turn off the compressor motor automatically. But now here I am going to use a start and stop push button. So here there is no automatic control. It is only a manual control. So you turn on the compressor, and when it is required you will turn off the compressor by manually. And we are using a start and stop push button for achieving this operation. So this is the wiring diagram what you are seeing here. First let us understand the control circuit, then we will see the wiring diagram, how to read and understand that. So this is the control circuit. You are able to see here we are connected stop and start push button in series, and we are having a main contactor coil here and overload relay NC contact, and we have extra component here that is a latching contact of the main contactor. So the main contactor has auxiliary contacts as well as the main contacts. The main contacts are used for connecting the load, so that is our motor here, and the auxiliary contacts are used for the control circuits. Here we are using only one auxiliary contact, that is for our latching purpose. So when the start push button is pressed here, so what happens, the current start flowing to the main contactor, and then the main contactor coil is getting energized so that the contacts, main contacts as well as the auxiliary contacts getting closed. So because of that, what happens here, the motor start running and the compressor start producing the pressurized gas. And here in the control circuit, the auxiliary contact also getting closed so that even when release your finger from the start push button, the current start flowing through this main contact, the auxiliary contact, and keeps the coil energized state itself so that the motor keep running until otherwise it is stopped through either stop push button or the overload relay NC contact. So the wiring diagram for this control circuit is shown here. We have taken the supply from the one line and it is going to the transformer and the control transformer. From there it is going to the first stop push button. From the stop push button it goes to the start push button. From the start push button it goes to the contactor coil, and from the contactor coil it goes to the NC contact of overload relay, and it returns back to the transformer secondary. And for the latching purpose, we have connected one auxiliary contact. From here, you can see it is going to this auxiliary contact. So the auxiliary contact is parallelly connected to the start push button to provide the alternate path when the push button is released. So that is how the control circuit is connected. And when you press the start push button, as I explained to you in the control circuit, so what happens, the current flow reaches to the coil. So when the coil is getting energized, the contact is getting closed. So when the contacts are getting closed, so then the motor is receiving the power as well as the latching contact is getting closed so that the motor keep running. And when you want to stop the motor, you can press the stop push button, or you can really in case of overload, the overload relay contact NC contact will open the circuit. So this is a simple operation of this three-wire controls. Here this is with two stop switches. That means you can control this motor from two different locations. So the starting is possible from one particular place, but stopping can be from two different places. That is the only difference between this previous circuit and this one. So other than that, remaining all same. The next one, if you see, we have two stop push buttons and two start push buttons. When you press any one of these start push button, the motor start functioning, and when you press any one of these stop push button, then the motor goes off. So that means that a set of on and off switch at one location, the other location also has start and stop push button, so that you can control from any one of the place. The next one is we have same two stop switch button, stop switches and two start switches. But here what happens, for the turn of the motor, we have to press both the stop push buttons. Otherwise, the motor will keep running, because we have two path, the current path for the latching until latching. From here, we are getting the power to the main contactor. So if you press any one of the start push button, the main contactor will get energized, the motor will run. But when you want to stop, you have to stop by pressing both the push buttons. If you press only one push button, it will not stop the process. So unconsciously, sometime the operator may press the stop push button, or unconsciously he press the stop push button. So they make sure that when both stop push buttons are pressed, sometime we will have a foot pedal as a one stop switch, and another switch will be in the hand operated place. So when you do both simultaneously, that means you are doing it consciously, so that you are turn off the machine consciously. So for that kind of areas, we can have this kind of both stop switches must be pressed to turn off the machine. And the next one, if you see here, we have two stop switches in series and two start switches in series. So here the two stop switches placed in different locations, and you can have a different place of a control. But the stop switches here, we have two different stop switches. You have to operate both of them. So this is very common in industry. So you will have a left side and right side, two push buttons. You have to operate both the push button to start the machine. Again, I tell you, this starting of the machine also should be consciously done. If you are not accidentally, if it is you have kept your hand or something like that, and if the machine started, it may lead to accident. So most of the industrial controls will have two start push buttons. So you operate both of them, so that it will start the process. Sometime one will be a push button, the other will be a foot pedal, or any other switch, like the object is placed in the work position or something like that, the limit switches or something like that. So if that two condition exists, then only the machine or the operation will start. So that kind of a logic is possible to start and stop the machine. So these are the different three-wire control circuits. So here we can see the PLC wiring diagram as well as the ladder here. For all the above configuration, the wiring diagram is same. The wiring diagram is not going to change, but this logics we are going to write as a code only. So you see, we are having a different configuration. If you are doing this in a relay logic, you need to do the wiring again and again. But if you see, when you are using a PLC, you need not to do any changes in the wiring. So you have a four switches connected, one, two on switches, two off switches we have connected, and one relay output we have connected, only that. So any different configurations is possible without changing any hardware configurations. So only we have to write a code according to our requirements, so that we can achieve our output. So here, this is our input card. We are having a inputs at 1, 2, 3, 4 terminals, two NC contact, two NC switches, and two NO switches, and one output terminal which is connected to the contactor coil. So this contactor coil is going to close the path for the main contactor coil energy, so that based on the availability of this output, so the main contactor will receive the energy, or it will get energized. So main contactor, when it is getting energized, the main contacts of this contactor will get closed, so the motor will run. So based on the condition or the logic what you wrote in the program, so based on that, it will be getting on and off. So when this is getting on, so the main contactor is going to get on. And if it is off signal from here, so the main contactor also will go off. So this is very simple wiring diagram for PLC wiring. And about the code, so this is the code for all the different conditions what I have shown you in the earlier slides. So let us see how it is getting simulated in the PLC. So let me draw the ladder for the above all the conditions. So let me draw first for the first condition. So where I have one start push button. So let me name it as X0 and two stop push buttons. Let me name it as X1 and X2. Okay, and I will place the output coil here, and I need to have a latching here. So the latching I just place it as a Y0 so that the coil will get latched. Now, it is very simple concept. So let me simulate this one. Okay, and let me run the PLC. Okay, so now the PLC is in on condition. Okay, so now when I start the machine by using the on push button, so let me set on this. So the coil is getting energized so that the motor will be running. So you can release your finger now. Though we release the finger from this on push button, still the power flows through the latching contact to the coil. So if you turn off the machine by using any one of this push button, off push button, then sorry, then the motor goes off. Any one of them. I have a two on push button. Let me connect one here and two off push button as well. So now let us see how this works. Let me download it. And the PLC. Okay, so now I can switch on the motor by using any one of the start push button. So let me turn on this using the first push button. So the motor is running now. This is one location. So now you can turn off this and still the power flow goes through this latching contact. So if you want to turn off the machine, so again you can turn off this by using any one push button. So in the second location also it is same case. You can just, since I kept it here, let me set up this. Yeah. So if I want to set on from this one, again it is possible to make the device to on bar from this location as well. So even if you set up this, the latching provides the continuous current flow to the coil. So this is how we can connect the ladder for the above the different conditions which we have explained in the. Hope everything is clear. Any doubts in this three-wire controls, please let me know in the chat box. Next video, we will see the next type of industrial motor controls. Thank you. Thank you for watching.